I'm back. I just wanted to pop on here real quick because I've been watching a lot of like crazy roommate stories, and I was like, oh, I had a kind of crazy roommate once. Maybe I'll like talk about that. My jewel pods are getting low. Oh shit, that shit's real low. I'm gonna fill it up real quick, show y'all how I refill my jewel pod. Pop the top off. Get this little part out. I took the top off the jewel pod. I took the top off the jewel pod. Yikes. Anyway, okay, so back to roommate stories. I had this crazy roommate. So this is how it starts out. Me and my boyfriend at the time, I'm just gonna refer to him as my boyfriend because it was at the time, and it's just gonna, I don't know, it's just at the time, so you know what I'm saying. Not with him anymore. Fool's gone. But so my boyfriend and I at the time had just moved out of our town we lived in, and we moved to San Jose for a little bit, and that didn't work out because there was just some stuff going on there that wasn't fitting well with our lives. So his family moved us out to where I live now, which is, I'm not gonna put that out there, but moved us out here. And everything was cool until around July. We moved into this apartment because the one we were living in was too expensive, and this one was actually nice though because it was a little bigger. It had 2 rooms, and we were sharing one room, and then we had another room that was like not being used. We were gonna like have it be like, my boyfriend at the time wanted it to be an art room, which would have been so cool, but we didn't do anything with that room. We just put a bunch of stuff in it, and we realized, well, not realized, but soon we found out that one of my boyfriend's friends from where we used to live in Davis had been living in the same town as us, out where we were living. So we started kicking it with them. It was this guy, I'm gonna call him Booger, and his girlfriend. I'm just gonna say his girlfriend because she's not very much in this story. But we found out he lived near us. So since we didn't really have any friends in the area because it was a brand new place, we started kicking it with them. And his girlfriend, Booger's girlfriend, was and still is so sweet. I love her to death. I still talk to her. We have plans tomorrow. She's great. But yeah, I just kicked with them, and at first it was just kind of awkward for me because I didn't really know either of them. My boyfriend just knew them, but I didn't, so kind of awkward. Like, I'm very shy. Like, I don't really come out of my shell too quick unless like I see like I can be comfortable around you. But yeah, I was just uncomfortable, but kicked it with them for a while, and then Booger and his girlfriend broke up, and mind you, they were living in the same apartment, so that meant they had to like move out, because they're not going to live together and be broken up. So Booger's girlfriend was able to get her own place because she's that bitch, and Booger had nowhere to go. So my boyfriend was like, oh, why don't you come stay with us? Like, we have an extra room, you can come stay there. And I was like, at first I was like, because like I didn't really know him, but at the same time I didn't want like a girl to move in, and that probably sounds like really like, oh, I'm a jealous person, but I'm not. It's just my boyfriend at the time he was like a gross guy, so he would most definitely like try and hit on her and try and make me jealous with whoever. Like, if we got a girl roommate, he'd try and make me jealous. So I was okay with like having a guy move in. I was like, okay, cool, like that's fine with me, as long as he like keeps himself and is like chill or whatever. And this guy, Booger, was just like, how do I put it? When him and his girlfriend broke up, like, yeah, everyone is sad when they first break up. And at first I was like, oh, like I feel for him, like that was his boo, like it's okay. But it started getting to the point where he was like super depressed about it, and like I said, I don't judge anybody for like being depressed about a breakup. Like, it happens. But he was just really, really negative. Mind you, he also had 2 cats, which is fine, but we were not allowed to have cats in our apartment because they just weren't allowed in the apartment, so we would get kicked out if anyone found out. So that meant we couldn't have like the blinds open really, because we had a little balcony and you could see in, and if the cats were by the window, like, someone could fucking snitch on us. And yeah, so that was kind of an issue. We always had the problem of, like, there's this one time I bought like a shit ton of Xanax, and we all, like, Booger was there, Booger's brother was there, was my boyfriend, and we're all getting fucked up, and I don't remember most of it, but I do remember one time me and Booger's brother, my boyfriend, were all out on the balcony, and the cats just jumped up onto the roof. So Booger had to climb up on the roof, get the cat, jump down. He jumped through one of those folding chairs. He jumped out on a folding chair and went right through it, making hella noise. Hella stuff broke. Like, he broke all of our bongs broke. Like, the cats kept getting out. It was just crazy. That was a crazy, like, few days. Like I said, I don't remember much, but I just do remember very blurred times, especially the time Booger went on the roof to get the cat. And then once he put him in, the cat got right back out, and Booger had to get back on the roof and jump down, and he broke a chair. But, yeah, that was a little bit crazy. But going back to where I said Booger was getting too depressed about him and his girlfriend breaking up, what surprised me was that he was always complaining, like, oh, fuck that bitch, she's a fucking slut, like, fucking hate that cunt, like, really derogatory things, like, to say about someone he's, like, pining over and crying over. And then whenever, you know, when you break up with someone, like, you kind of come back every once in a while, whenever she'd come back around, like, he would straight up be like, oh my god, like, I love you, baby, like, I miss you so much, blah, 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 like, holding her, cuddling her. But when she would leave, he'd be like, bitch is a fucking whore, like, fuck that bitch, fucking hate her. And like, the whole time I was like, yo, what the fuck, like, even my boyfriend was like, dude, how can you be, like, calling her a whore and stuff when you're crying about her every day, like, whatever. It was weird. He was, like, really flip-floppy, but it got to a point where, like I said, we were all doing a bunch of drugs together. Me and my boyfriend were mostly just doing coke, so we had, like, this plug we'd go to in, like, a sketchy area. We'd have to go to this, like, motel type place where our plug lived, and yeah, it was just sketchy. And there was this time my boyfriend was just smoking, like, a lot of clear, so everyone hated him when he was on clear. Like, everyone hated him. Like, he was, the plug would not sell to him anymore. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, they'd be like, we're not giving, enter my boyfriend's name, we're not selling that to him anymore. Like, he's so fucked up on it, he's stupid, like, no one likes him. They wouldn't sell it to him. So, mind you, Booger decided to pick up using heroin. Like, shooting heroin. Like, jumped right into it. He didn't start anywhere else, he jumped right into shooting heroin. And Booger would, like, beg my boyfriend, like, and he would call it the trap, which is so annoying because he's, like, this fucking stupid white boy who's, like, never set foot in any sort of trap in his life. Like, be like, I'm gonna call my boyfriend at the time, I'm gonna call him Stink Man. Or, not Stink Man. I'm gonna call him Foot. He'd say, Foot, let's go to the trap. Like, please take me to the trap. I need to get some Ron or whatever. And, like, it was just annoying because Foot didn't want to drive him back and forth. Like, if we'd already picked up what we were getting, it's just, like, pointless to go back and forth twice because our plug was in, like, the next town over. So we'd have to drive. Like, it wasn't that long of a drive, like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But it was still, like, he's not paying for gas. So he'd be like, this is straight up what he said one day. And this pissed me off because even Booger hated Foot when Foot was on meth. Like, everyone hated him when he was on meth. Like, he was awful. Like, he was awful. Like, Foot would put on, like, 21 Savage and, like, stomp around the house and fucking start harassing people on social media and then think he's, like, such hard shit because he was cyberbullying people. Like, it was annoying. And then he'd, like, flex with knives and think he was cool. And he'd start saying shit that no one understood. Like, yeah, gang in this bitch, like, fuck yeah, blood. And I'm like, shut up, like, stop saying this shit. First of all, like, fool's not hard, it's not a blood, like, I don't know where he got that shit. Just Foot was annoying when he was on drugs anytime, but meth was the worst. And one day, Booger was just dying to get heroin, like dying, and it's like 1 in the morning. Like, my plug definitely doesn't even want to serve him, and he goes, "Come on, Foot, like, take me to the trap, I'll get you some clear." And that's when I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and mind you, Foot was trying to not do clear at the time. Like, he was like really not trying to be doing that because he knew how awful it made him. And he was like, just the fact that he was so desperate to get heroin that he would like try and have someone else relapse into doing one of the worst drugs you can is just so inconsiderate and so disgusting and just like so thoughtless and just like gross. Like, who does that? And it was so annoying. And the thing about this guy was that he was, like I said, he was IVing heroin, but he didn't know how to. So we would just be sitting there, like, doing our coke or whatever, and this would, like, it just was gross. He'd be digging into his arm, like, stabbing himself multiple times, like, not able, like, almost, like, giving himself abscesses to the point where me or my boyfriend at the time would have to, like, do it for him just so we didn't have to watch him do that shit. It was so gross. It was so gross. And it was just getting really bad. Like, he was just getting so, like, addicted to heroin that at one point he decided he was going to go on a little hike for, like, a week and try and kick it and take subs or whatever. Suboxone, if you don't know what Suboxone is, it's what people who are coming off opiates take. And, so he goes out to the woods, and he's like, I'm ditching my phone, like, I'm just going out to the woods, like, just gonna have a little, like, hike. He goes to the woods. I'm kicking it with his ex-girlfriend, because, like I said, sweetheart, love her. And he's texting her the whole time. He's, like, just saying shit, like, I can't find any food. We're like, what the fuck is he eating, bro? Like, did he bring food out there? Berries? Like, what? How's his phone still alive? It was hella funny, because she was just, like, he was blowing her up. Like, he was supposed to go out there to, like, you know, reconnect with nature, reconnect with himself, but the whole time he was, like, obsessing over, like, his ex and, like, texting her, and I'm like, it was just hella funny. We were like, what is this fool doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, he's getting so invested, and there were times when he wouldn't have any reception, so he'd freak out, and then, like, oh, I just got reception, blah, 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 blah. So funny, but, like, super whack. Like, if you're gonna go kick dope or whatever, like, don't fucking, I don't know why I was texting his ex so much. It was crazy. So, being the good roommate I was while he was out kicking dope or whatever in the forest, we don't know what forest either, it was hella weird. I wouldn't know how his phone stayed charged. Kicking dope in the forest, I went in his room, like I said, being a good roommate, wasn't going through his stuff, but making sure there wasn't any heroin in his room, because, like, I didn't want him to get back and immediately relapse. So I went through his room as well as I could, and I got all the foil out of there, I got, like, all the rigs out of his room, like, got all that paraphernalia shit out. He comes back from his little hike or whatever, and literally first thing, he finds a little piece of hop in his carpet. In his carpet. Like, he has cats in his room, so probably covered in cat hair, and he's like, oh, Layla, Foot, I just found some black. What should I do with it? And me and my boyfriend are like, flush it? Like, you just went on a little sobriety hike, like, flush it. And he's like, I don't know. And we're like, flush it, like, we're screaming at him to flush it. And then out of nowhere, he goes into some random cabinet and fishes out some needles and fucking just shoots it. First of all, where'd you find those? Why were they hiding? Obviously you weren't, like, really determined to get sober if you were hiding rigs in the house. It was weird. So yeah, immediately falls so hard into, like, this relapse. Oh shit, I forgot to mention he crashed his car when he did have a car at the beginning. He was fucked up driving all over the parking lot where people sit outside and smoke, driving his car around, and he crashed it or something, and he got it like towed at, he crashed on the highway at some point, but he was swerving all over the place. He did have a car at some point, but he fucking crashed it because he's stupid. So he's lost his car. He falls so hard into this relapse. He's fucking shooting so much heroin, like, every day. It's so gross because, like I said, he didn't know how to shoot himself up, so we're, like, watching him fucking dig in his arm. And then suddenly, like, and mind you, he still hasn't paid any rent. He has not paid a single dime in rent. And he hasn't really done anything for us in any way. So it was just so stupid. The house got so disgusting. No one washed their dishes. Like, I washed my own dishes, but the two guys did not wash their dishes. So I'm telling you, the sink is piled with dishes. It's nasty. And I'd be like, yo, can one of you guys do the dishes? Like, I do my dishes, but now there's no room. Nobody's doing their dishes. The house has turned disgusting. I clean up my mess, but nobody else cleans up theirs. Booger has started this habit of leaving uncapped needles everywhere. And I'm telling you, like, the house was a, like, there should have been a big biohazard sign on our door, because you walk into the house, needles on the floor, needles sticking out from fucking used needles sticking out from, like, from shelves, from fucking on the table, like, not even on the table, it's sticking out like he was trying to get someone to get poked or whatever. It was disgusting. Everywhere. And it just was so annoying. It's so gross. Like, I couldn't even invite anyone over because it was just disgusting. He talked shit about my best friend. Like, my best friend. She's not really much of the story, so I'm just gonna call her Twinkle. Twinkle's a fucking whore. Like, my friend Twinkle, all the time she'd go to sex parties, she'd have fun. Like, that's her life. She was awesome, and she was so liberated. It was great. I was so happy for her. But I can't believe Twinkle's such a fucking whore. And Twinkle was hanging out with Booger's ex-girlfriend. I can't believe, and, like, that pissed him off. I can't believe my ex is hanging out with that fucking whore. She's gonna turn her into a fucking slut. Evil, like, disgusting, horrible things about these two incredible women. Like, sweet, beautiful women. I love them. I don't talk to Twinkle anymore because that's a whole nother story, but these women, like, I still love her to death. Beautiful women. And this guy was so mad and disgusting, and just, it was awful. And one point, his ex decided to come over one day, and we were just all hanging out, and then apparently she pulls up in the parking lot to get here, and Booger runs outside to meet her, and me and my boyfriend are in the house. Suddenly I get a call from one of the women in our complex, who, and this is a small complex, who lives out there. She always smokes outside. Can you come get your fucking roommate? He's like threatening and cussing out his girlfriend or whatever. And my boyfriend's like, what? Foot's like, what the fuck? We go out there. His ex is trying to get in her car, but he's like, okay, you know where the car door opens like this or whatever? Like, here's the car, the door's open. He's standing so she can't get in the car. And she's trying to leave. Like, she got there and he's trying to leave. He's yelling at her, calling her a fucking whore, a fucking slut. She just wants to go home. Like, it was awful. And then, he hears her, like, one of the women who live in the complex hears him yelling at her and, like, verbally abusing her and, like, throwing his keys at her. And she goes, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't talk to a fucking woman like that. And he comes up to her, and this is a grown-ass woman. He goes, fuck you, fucking cunt. I didn't ask you, blah, blah, blah. Like, yelling at this woman who lives in our complex. Like, this fool is my roommate. Like, that's putting such a bad, like, image of everyone who lives in my apartment. And he's calling her a cunt, cussing her out. So she calls her husband up. And she's like, you don't want my husband to come out here. You do not want my husband to come out here. Her husband comes out. He's taller than him, of course, and this guy's still tall. And he looks down at him, and he's like, you're a little pussy. Like, you're a piece of shit. Like, you don't want me to knock you out right now. And fucking Booger starts crying. He starts crying. It was hilarious. And I told his ex, I was like, girl, you just gotta go. Like, get out of here. Like, I want to kick it, but he's, like, in a really weird state. Like, you should probably go. So she goes, but he was, like, literally causing trouble everywhere. He was telling the women who smoke outside, because there's a little group of women who smoke outside, he would tell them about, like, how he would be doing drugs, which is bad because all the women would tell the apartment like manager or the guy who like runs the complex. They would tell him, and they tried to get everyone who does drugs kicked out of the apartments. So he was sabotaging like our chances of staying there. He was awful. And just to like wrap it all up, we ended up kicking him out. Like, we were like, we can't have you here. But one of the also worst things is he thought like rape jokes and like all those things were so funny, and it was awful. Like, my ex was a pretty fucked up guy, but he was nowhere near that fucked up. Like, I thought my ex was bad. Like, this fool was worse. I remember him like, I remember Booger showing Foot like some joke that I didn't see, and Foot just looks at him, he goes, "That shit's not fucking funny. You think that's funny? That's fucking disgusting. Don't show me that shit. You shouldn't be laughing at that." It was just, he said some weird shit. Like, he was just a really weird guy. But yeah, we ended up kicking him out. He never paid like a dime of rent. He left his cat hair everywhere. Fucking place smelled like cat shit because he wouldn't clean the litter box. He was gross, but we liked his girlfriend more than him, that's for sure. She's a sweetheart. She's such a great girl. But yeah, that's the story of my crazy junkie fucking disgusting roommate who turned our whole house into a biohazardous waste zone and made all our like apartment complex neighbors hate us and like talk shit about my friends. So he talked shit about me too. I didn't hear it, but I know he talked shit about me. My boyfriend told me about it. But that's the story. If you ever watch this, Booger, I hope you're not doing heroin, and I hope you're not so much of a piece of shit as you were. But I don't think that'll ever change. Bye. Subscribe, like and subscribe. Love you guys.